Come one, come all. Welcome to episode number 276 of the TEW 2020 Challenge Run. We are here, Monday Night Raw, week 2 of August. And tonight Raw is coming home to the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden. The main event, WWE Championship on the line as Cody Rhodes challenges Roman Reigns for the title inside MSG. But also, the rest of the show's stacked as well. We've got Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre, which will be kicking things off tonight. We've got Bianca Belair and Asuka against Scarlett and Julia with the Grand Jury. We've got a Liberty title qualifying match between Liv Morgan and Naomi. We've got the return of Logan Paul and a whole lot more. Without any further ado, let's jump straight into the show. Raw opens with a shot from earlier today. We're outside the MSG parking lot when the Nightmare bus pulls up and out steps the entire Nightmare family, including Pharaoh. Step out. And Kevin's waiting outside. So Cody, big night tonight. How are you feeling going into what is undoubtedly the biggest match of your career? He says, I've got to be confident. There's a reason I challenge Roman Reigns tonight. It's because I know I've got what it takes to get the job done and fulfill my destiny tonight, Kevin. It feels good knowing that I'm going to leave here my destiny. Might tell my entire family's here. Baby Liberty's probably there as well, but I haven't put her on screen like I have Pharaoh. I just didn't think it would be as... And also Pharaoh's got a more important role. Because as they enter the building, he's like, Brandy, go take Pharaoh to the locker room. Dustin, go with her. Go and, have a mingle ahead of my big show. And we see in the background, it's not pointed out on commentary or anything, but we see Pharaoh go running off and Brandy and Dustin chasing after him as Cody goes to, mingle with the locker room. So cold open, heading into our first proper segment from the ring, which is a match that gets a 91. It is the one-on-one match, Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre, revenge from Randy punting him back at WrestleMania. And Drew gets it. The match goes 18 minutes, with hot opener, big Raw show inside the most famous arena in the world. Drew McIntyre delivers the Claymore 1, 2, 3, and he's the one who punts Orton down in 17:56. 84 for Randy, 88 for McIntyre, and for those of you keeping track at home, he has just pinned one half of the Raw Tag Team Champions. Wink, wink, cough, cough. As he then brings it to your attention. He says, well, way to go, MSG, you're rocking tonight. It's nice to finally, get the upper hand, get the revenge on that son of a bitch, Randy Orton. After what he did to me at WrestleMania, what he did to Sheamus at Backlash. But I hope you're watching Edge, because I'm not done with you too. And in case you didn't notice, this is your tag team partner right here. This is one half of the Raw Tag Team Champions. Last week, me and Sheamus, we beat the Vikings. This week, I've beaten Randy. When are you going to give us our Raw Tag Team Championship match, Edge? When's that going to be? Out come Biggie and Kofi. And Biggie's like, Drew, look, I know that you've got your own bone to pick with Edge. Your beef with Edge goes back a lot further than mine does, but that's what I've got to tell you. Edge is mine at SummerSlam, Ed. You got to go back to the time. We can face Edge maybe next week, maybe the week after that on Raw. Who cares? All I know is that I'm the one who needs to put an end to this Grand Jury for good. After what he did to my boy Woods, and what he's done to Kofi, and what he's done to me, and what he's done to everybody here on Raw, I've got to be the one to stop the Grand Jury and stop Edge. And Drew's go, well, you carried that championship with pride. I did as well. Sheamus did it as well. But hell, Edge did it as well. But you gotta think, maybe you're rushing into a fight that you're not quite ready for. If you take on Edge for that championship, he's got that whole group behind him. Which is why me and Sheamus 1 by 1, 2 by 2, looking to dissect. If you want to join us and help us take the numbers down, by all means. And then Edge pops on the top, he's like, don't bicker. I know the chance to sit atop the mountain of omnipotence with me and the rest of the Grand Jury is exciting for everybody on this roster. But here's the thing. SummerSlam is 2 nights. Gentlemen, Drew McIntyre and Sheamus, congratulations, you did beat Randy and you did beat Eric and Ivar last week, but that's a whole different strive than being sure you're tag team championship ready. I'm not sure if you are, but I'm willing to humour your requests. Because like I said, SummerSlam, 2 nights coming up Boston, and I will hand a Raw tag team championship opportunity. Me and Randy, rated RKO, put our Raw tag team champions on the line against you, Drew McIntyre and Sheamus, at SummerSlam, on the condition that Big E faces me for the World Heavyweight Championship on night 1. And Big E's like, whoa, you're fucking hot. I've got no acceptance of that. I need a challenger for SummerSlam. Cody's gone off to SmackDown. I've got no one left here to fight. And I want to put you down and stop this charade of yours once and for all. You're on, I accept. And then Drew's like, balls in your court now, Edge. And he's like, I was starting to think you would never accept, you know? We'll give you tonight. It's always good to, let you think you've got the upper hand. But come SummerSlam, it's going to be a different story when me and Randy, we keep a hold of our Raw Tag Team Championships. But that's not all, because I'm going to have two championships rest upon my shoulder as it all starts to fall into place for the grand jury. And you're going to regret being on this side of history, boys. Trust me on that. So there's 2 big matches announced for SummerSlam. Night 1, the World Heavyweight Championship on the line, Big E will defend against Edge. And on night 2, Edge, after wrestling Big E on night 1 and potentially being the World Heavyweight Champion, will team up with Randy to defend the Raw Tag Team Championships against Drew McIntyre and Sheamus. For those of you keeping track at home. We then cut backstage Mustafa Ali. It's with Kevin Patrick. He's like, last week, Angel Garza, Dixie, they're trying to get in my head, Kevin, They still think I'm the same guy I was last time you saw me around here, but let me know, I've cleansed myself from that. And even when I was at that absolute lowest of guy, I've never stooped as low as Angel Garza is stooping right now. Hell, if he wants to defend the championship against me at SummerSlam, all he's got to do is ask. But, this has become about more than the championship. This has got to stop this guy from doing his shtick around here. Because, I've done a lot of bad things in the past. Sammy, wherever he's at right now, he can attest to that. John Cena, Triple H, all of those people. But one thing is for sure is that I've found peace in myself and that I'm now content to be who I am. And then in the frame walks Joe Gacy and the Helpers, and he's like, did you say you'd found true peace? No, Mustafa. True peace can only be attained if you listen on and join our cause. So that's why I disagree with this notion that you found true... And I was like, shush! I'm going to let you finish, but I know what this is, okay? A cult, looking to try and spread their message the way they know how. And telling everybody, Hell, big boy back there, what are you calling him? Aziz? That's not a name he used under my regime, but I know what this is. It's like me looking in a mirror. So the answer's no, I'm not interested. He said, well, luckily for you, we're busy at SummerSlam because we've got 4 more rebels that are defying our control and our presence that we have to deal with. But I'm more than free tonight, Ali, to teach you a lesson in that safe space out there. And Ali's like, fine, I'll kick your ass tonight. So Gacy and Mustafa Ali setting up a quick match for later on tonight. Fun, because I wanted to do the interaction between this group, which is basically the message in a different coat of paint, as well as down to having Babatunde Aziz Dabakato in there. But in case you forgot, we haven't reminded you in a week or two, but do not forget who's coming to Raw. Mr. Veer Mahan. 74. That's a very good match for Liv and Naomi, Because, again, psychology, these two aren't very psychological. But the final Raw spot goes to Liv. She joins Florence, who else qualified last week? Alba Fire. And then from SmackDown qualified, we've got Shotzi and not Candice, she lost to Toni Storm. So Toni Storm, Shotzi, Liv, Florence and Alba. And the final spot is between Mandy Rose and Anne-Marie Porter on SmackDown this week. And that'll be a field. And one of those 6 will be the first Liberty champion. 73 for Liv, 65 for Naomi. 74 is a good rating for that match, I guess. Especially because there's no storyline attached, and apparently his psychology was bad. So last week, Carland, wannabe member of the Karrion Kross cult, trying to impress his hero, his childhood hero, Karrion Kross, stole the 24/7 championship from R-Truth. Which is now we pick up the action this week, where he's walking down the hallway, championship like draped over his shoulder, really deliver the title to his hero. And he goes to go find the Smokey Karrion Kross cult locker room, the dark room with the smoke going out from under it. And we hear, woof! And he looks around. He gets startled by the sound of a dog bark. He's like, what the fuck was that? And then we hear, woof, woof. Camera pans down, Pharaoh's down there just looking up at Carland, growling at him, going, rrr, rrr. Carland's like, you can tell he's kind of like worried because like he's this big tough guy, but maybe he's scared of dogs. And he's got the 317 title. He's going to go open the door, but as he does, Pharaoh grabs his bites the leg of his boiler suit thing he has, and he starts shaking his leg, going, "Shoo, get off, get off, get off!" And Pharaoh obliges, but grabs the 24/7 title out of his hand, and then runs off down the hallway with it. So, for all intents and purposes, Pharaoh's won the belt, and Garland then has to chase him down to try and get the belt back for his hero, Karrion Kross. I remember somebody setting a goal that Pharaoh must be 24/7 champion. And he's done it. He's the champion right now. He's just taking it off Garland. Oh shit. We then get a Madison Square Garden. Some of the absolute greatest musical bands of all time have performed in Madison Square Garden. And we add another one to that list here tonight. We get an MSG-sized J-Flow performance. Madison Square Garden, oi, oi, oi. And they start singing. Then as the song ends, they part to two sides and then leave the ramp empty. And then Logan Paul's music hits. And he saunters on out to the stage with his bottle of Prime. He necks some Prime, probably hands one to Mackie. And then we get the graphic Logan Paul up next will address The Miz and Grayson Waller. And then we get that segment. That segment gets a 91. He gets them, he's like, "What's up, Madison Square Garden?" He's like, "Oh, man, I made one off appearance at WWE, and could be wrestling at SummerSlam. Apparently, The Miz and Grayson Waller have taken issue with me. That's fine. I'll kick anyone's ass, Madison Square Garden, big building. My brother's actually boxing here, in a week's time. So, you know him. You probably saw his face on the building when you came in here tonight. But we're not here to talk about him. We're here to talk about me and The Miz and SummerSlam. Because obviously he's busy doing his thing. So I can't call him up on a moment's notice and be like, "Hey Jake, be my partner for SummerSlam." So apparently I need to find a tag team partner, But ideally I'd want somebody, who's got experience in WWE, who's wrestled before. Someone else with SummerSlam experience. And out comes The Miz and Waller. And Miz is like, Logan, I mean this. Genuinely, I mean this as... Well, I don't mean any respect to you because I don't respect you. But... Trust me when I'm telling you this from the heart. You and I were a lot alike, I came from reality television, you come from social media. We were both rejected, neither of us was supposed to make it to WWE, so let me tell you, there's not a single WWE superstar in the back that respects you, Logan. There's not a single WWE superstar in the back that will be caught dead being your tag team partner at SummerSlam. I know, I've asked plenty, and they've shown me the same result. I don't want a team of Logan Paul, He's just that immature kid, that social media brat. He's got no business in the WWE, and these are words that I was told once back in the day, 16 years ago, Logan. So trust me when I tell you, it's just best for you to not find a partner, take the ass whipping that you deserve, and then be on your merry way. That's when Logan laughs. That's where you're wrong, Miz. Sure, You may not have a lot of people's respect because of the way you act, but you sure did earn the company's respect. And I'm not here to just force my way to the top. I'm here to earn the respect of the company. I'm here to come in as a celebrity. I don't want special privileges. I don't want to be the champion. I want to prove that I belong here in WWE. And another thing you're wrong about, Miz, is you said, there's no WWE superstars that want a team of Logan Paul at SummerSlam. And while you're technically correct, that wasn't a part of the criteria which I stated earlier on. I need to find somebody who's willing to team with me, who's got experience wrestling in WWE, and who's got experience wrestling at SummerSlam. So, ladies and gentlemen, raise your prime bottles in the air for my tag team partner at SummerSlam, KSI. Out comes KSI, he's got a bottle of Prime as well. Team Prime together again. And they're going to face The Miz and Grayson Waller at SummerSlam. Miz like, really? Another one of these social media losers with no respect, no care for their surroundings, just here to, to make a quick payday. Well, let me tell you something. Logan, KSI, I don't care where you come from, I'll send you back to wherever you came from. Because I'm The Miz, and then Grayson Waller sort of puts his hand over the mic and like, enough from you, Miz. I got a bone to pick with both of you. You see, as the real hip, trendy superstar here in WWE, Grayson Waller, he needs to try and find, social media names to spread his clout to. So now people are looking at Logan Paul, they're looking at KSI, and they're thinking that, this is where all the views are coming in. Well, let me tell you, you're not going to get as much views as Grayson Waller, because I trend every damn day I step into this ring. And the only reason you're going to be trending after SummerSlam is because Grayson Waller put your ass down. And then KSI grabs the mic, and he goes to start speaking, when him and Logan punch, because boxing. They both punch Logan punches Miz, KSI punches Waller, they both go down, and then they toast a bottle of Prime to each other and neck it, as we get SummerSlam set up, KSI and Logan Paul against The Miz and Grayson Waller. Segment. We then got to that, to Titus World Records. Titus like, where'd you last see your baby? And he's like, last week me and my baby were just having fun, and my baby got kidnapped, and I can't tell you who he was. He's a big guy with a bald head, and he was wearing a blue suit. And Titus sort of looks down at himself, wearing a blue suit, and he's like, and Truth's like, you stole my baby. And Titus like, no, I didn't touch your baby. He's like, you're jealous I didn't take your little business cards. You took my baby from me. How dare you? You give me my baby back right now. Titus like, look, Truth, I don't have your baby. But if we work together, maybe we can, woof. Pharaoh runs through the gap between them, sprints off with a towel hanging out of his mouth. He goes, well, I thought it was the guy a bald guy in a blue suit. Sorry, dog, but dog has my baby. And he runs off, and then Carlin slowly jogs after them as well. And Titus is like, what? We should probably just move on to find another client, Shanky. Like, Truth, he's doing my head in. And Shanky's like, yo, what's up with that, fam? I beat Karrion Kross 2 weeks ago. We then cut backstage. Kevin is with Nova in the interview area. It says last week things got a little bit dicey between Alexa, you, and Stephanie here on Raw. But at the end of the day, your match with her at SummerSlam is now officially made, and you will go one-on-one with Alexa Bliss at SummerSlam, Nova. He's like, I didn't like doing what I did. I admit it's a little bit shady, but something's only bad if a bad guy's doing it to good people. If a good person's doing it to bad people, then in my eyes, that's all fair. And there's not a galaxy out there where that's bad. Okay? So, all this talk, Alexa, literally since I first came to Raw, the first night I was here on Raw, Alexa started giving me stick on heat. And now to finally be able to get a one-on-one, shout out to Bianca, we and her won at Evolution in that tag team match, but to get a one-on-one at SummerSlam, there's nothing she can do about it. She can't get the match cancelled or anything. It's sweet. Ivy Tatum are banned from ringside. And she's going to find out just who the best in the damn galaxy is. But before then, we have Heat coming up after this, the show where me and Alexa's beef really kicked off. So why don't we say I'll be in action on that show, okay? Anyone? SmackDown, NXT, unsigned, other people here on Raw, Step up. Who wants to face me on Heat? 83-minute tag team match. It's a big MSG show. What would a big MSG show be without the Mysterios? And the Street Profits are back. Well, Montez Ford is back. He was injured. Angelo went solo for a bit. Big entrance of the Profits. They're together once again. They want the smoke. Cups go pouring down from the ceiling. And they win. They beat the Mysterios with Montez Ford pinning, it says Ray, probably Dominic, with a frog splash. And interestingly enough is that, these two are both still in the Cruiserweight tournament, but they came up short here on Raw against the Street Profits in tag team action. 77 for Ray, the lowest in the match, Rey Mysterio. 79 for Dominic, 81 for Montez Ford, and 80 for Angelo Dawkins. See, that quick IC title program helped get Angelo back onto Montez's level. It was fine. It was a success for everybody involved. But the Profits are now back as a tag team. And they get one over on the Mysterios here tonight. Then, we're back at the Hardy compound. Senior Benjamin is doing his gardening. And Matt Hardy was, Senior Benjamin, are you preparing the battlefield for deletion? He says, yes, Mr. Hardy, it's been years. I know what I'm doing now. I was like, yes, it's fine. Mr. Senior Benjamin, you have 42 total eclipses of the sun to get the battlefield prepared. Did I say 42? Why the fuck did I say 42? I meant 14. 2 weeks. But he doesn't say 2 weeks because he's broken Matt. Because, come that day, the night after the slam that takes place in the summer, myself and brother Nero will welcome the man that consumes the planets and his friend, the young Susan, to the Hardy compound, when the flies that are on fire will be deleted. And Senior Benjamin's like, yeah, well, I'll get to fucking work, Got dilapidated boats to hang up and all sorts. And he's like, yes, that's my Senior Benjamin. 83 rated segment. Charlotte comes out, Jordan and Reggie behind her. And Charlotte's, well, what would it be? It wouldn't be Madison Square Garden without the goddamn Queen, now would it? Miss Money in the Bank, one half of the Women's Tag Team Champions, and soon-to-be conqueror of Hikaru Shida and Utami Hayashishita at SummerSlam, I saw Shida, on SmackDown this week. She couldn't even beat Cora. Yeah, little Cora, someone's kid jumped the barricade. Her. Beat my number one contender. So, all of a sudden, any doubts at SummerSlam are going out the window because the Queen, Lady Jordan, are going to win, walk in and walk out, Women's Tag Team Champions. You got me? Thank you, Madison Square Garden, for giving me such a warm welcome. Out comes Cora. And she's like, well, it's a good thing you spoke about SmackDown, because I did have a chat with Brandy. Being that the Women's Tag Team Championships, they are technically property of Heat, they're not tied to Raw or SmackDown, but because they're property of Heat, they can appear on all shows, just like people from all shows can appear on Heat. And Charles like, yes, I get it. It's like, well, so Brandy, the overseer of the women's division, the Heat general manager, agreed with me that beating the number one contenders should get me a tag team championship opportunity with Bayley. Charles like, well, yeah, have you taken this up with Bayley? Because, as a matter of fact, I have. Then Bayley comes out. And Bayley grabs the mic, and the first time in a while, I think, she actually speaks. And she's like, listen here, Charlotte. You're right. Cora is an annoying little child. And she gets under my skin and has actively thrown me off my game for months now. And Cora's like, should I be blushing? Or it's like, but she's my annoying little protege. And on Friday, for the first time, I was proud of her for getting that victory. So, it's not just Cora Jade that you've got to worry about, Charlotte. You know? It's now me, too. Then out comes Shida and Utami. And they're like, well, me winning that Battle Royal back at Evolution, I got the championship opportunity for SummerSlam. It's set. Sure, Cora, you're a hell of a competitor, you know? But SummerSlam's set because I beat... You don't get to take our spot at SummerSlam because I won the Battle Royal, okay? Sure, when we win the championships at SummerSlam, you could be the first team that challenges us. But for now, you've got to put that on the back burner. And Charlotte's like, well, you heard the girl. Bye-bye. And Cora's like, well, who said anything about SummerSlam? What if, instead of SummerSlam, what if we go into SummerSlam as the tag team champions? And Charlotte's like, well, you're not going to do that, are you? Because we're the champions, you silly bitch. Cora's like, well, maybe only for 7 more days, because us beating the tag team championship number 1 contenders owes us a title opportunity. And I don't know about you, Bayley. I'm not busy next Monday. You know, we're SmackDown guys. You know, we don't normally get busy on Mondays. So, Charlotte, Jordan, what are you saying about next Monday on Raw? Cora Jade and Bayley, SmackDown's besties. And Bayley sort of gives her a glare. And she goes, "The name is a work in progress. It's fine. We challenge you two for the tag team championships. We lose." You win, and we move on. But obviously, if we win, we get to go to SummerSlam too, and it'll be a triple threat match, where we enter as the tag team champions. Charlotte's like, well, I feel confident about beating these two, Jordan, do you? And she's like, yeah, whatever you say, Charlotte. You got me a title, I'll listen to you. And she's like, it would mean nothing I would enjoy more than denying you the right to compete at the second biggest show of the year. You're gonna regret opening your mouth, because this will be a hard dose of reality for you. And Bayley, maybe you can keep saying you're proud of Cora for winning on SmackDown. You probably won't be proud of her come next week when she costs you that opportunity to be at the pay-per-view, will you? See you then, kid. Woo. Backstage interview, Bobby Roode and Tyler Breeze. Breeze is like, last week, Wardon, that scumbag, you know, that swine. Nobody would even know who he was if it wasn't for me, Bobby. He's like, you know, yeah, you're right, yeah. Nobody would. Like, he should owe his life to you. But he's like, instead, he comes out here and he powerbombs you for no reason as part of a match. Because apparently the crowd loves him and he loves the crowd. Well, make no bones about it, I saw you beat Bobby last week, and, well, there's a reason I hired you to be my security. My warden, you know? Because you're bigger than me, you can throw me around too. But if you're as big and tough as you say you are, Mr. Warden, then at SummerSlam, you'll take us both on. And don't make no mistake, this isn't a Logan Paul situation. We're not offering you the opportunity to find a tag team partner. If you're as big and tough as you say you are, Mr. Wardon, you'll take us both on 2-on-1 in a handicap match. Okay? Ball's in your court, Mr. War Dog. Unless you're a coward. 70 rated match. Gacy gets a 66 in his in-ring. That's really good, you know. I think he's got like 30 odd pop. And he beats Mustafa Ali with the, you know, the handspring lariat thing. Because Angel Garza is ringside again, distracting him, you know, just being generally obnoxious. And Gacy gets the win over Ali. There is a bigger purpose to this defeat, which I can't talk about until after the pay-per-view. But there's a reason why this specific victory happened. That's so cryptic, but it's nothing that interesting. It just might affect the future of the save, is all. 79 for Ali, 66 for Gacy. After the match, Gacy and the helpers are celebrating on the Titantron. Sensei's up there. And they're like, Yo, Joe, hiya. As you can see, me and the boys and girl are hard at work, you know. They're training. I've got my Master Roshi shit going on. I've got my gi. You know, Manny's got his gi. Dio's got his. Saray, I don't know what she wears to train. You know, she gets changed on her own. But just so you know, that SummerSlam, the ring, you kill the ring, your safe space. The ring won't be your safe space come SummerSlam, because we're bringing the power of God and anime to the ring to halt this stupid quest you have. You claim for peace, but it's not for peace at all, is it, Joe? It's because you want endless power, and that's why you have Saray's pendant, and we're going to take it back. In case he goes, listen, Sensei, if all you want is the pendant back, come out here and take it from us. And Dio's like, that doesn't sound like a bad idea. Titantron goes off, and then bang, some like fucking smoke ball drops on the stage. Big anime music starts kicking in, and the boys come out, and they brawl with the Joe Gacy helpers. Obviously, Dio and goes for Aziz. Manny, I guess, has to go with Wolf, and Sensei with Gacy, and Aisling and Saray, obviously, get a little brawl. The first time it's gonna not have, weird anime powers, because this is live, pal. This isn't pre-recorded, this isn't cinematic. They're here and they're, actually wrestling, because this is a wrestling show and not an anime, At some point they have to actually get into the ring. Speaking of brawling around ringside, we get a recap of last week with all the stables brawling around ringside and the announcement of gang warfare. Then we just get like a quick 1-minute video from each, like how they're preparing for the war. You know how the Real Coalition would do it, wrestling, mat grappling. Hit Row, doing raps, I guess, to prepare. Sergis and the Path of the Dragon guys are back up the mountain with Master Tajiri. Hurt Business, I guess, sort of like a Raw Underground environment. Battle Club? I don't really know. How would Battle Club train? I guess just by being cool, like on the streets. But gang warfare should be fun. It's going to be Anarchy in the Arena, but with 5 teams of 3 and 15 people instead of 2 teams of 5 and 10 people. But they also announced that next week, the big boys from each team are going to be in a fatal 5-way. It's going to be Top Dollar, Zergis, Gunter, Ridge Holland, and Bronson Reed. In a big meet-off to prepare us for gang warfare. Edge is then backstage with Sonya, Julia, and Scarlett. He says, everything is now coming to plan. The grand jury is going to leave SummerSlam. I'm going to be 2 champions. Randy's going to be the other half of the tag team champions. The only thing that needs to be done now is for Sonya to get her Raw Women's Championship back, and then you two to become the tag team champions. So tonight, Scarlett and Julia expect a message to be delivered to Bianca and Asuka. And then music hits and they leave to go to the ring for the tag match. Asuka and Bianca, can they coexist? Oh! I did not expect this match to get a 90. But they can coexist. Asuka and Bianca win. Asuka submits Julia because she is the champion, so she should probably get the win. 74 for Scarlett, 77 for Julia, 90 for Asuka, 86 for Bianca. Holy shit. Scarlett has just had a 90 rated match. Who'd have thought that she'd be... actually, a lot of people actually is the answer, because a lot of people thought that Karrion Kross was going to be like Mark Mero in real life. I could say, who'd have thought she'd be the Michaels and Kross would be the Janae, but here we are. Karrion Kross hasn't even sniffed a 90 rated match in months. I'm sure him and Goldberg would have had one, but we'll never know. Speaking of 90 rated matches, that's what I expect, at a minimum, the big mattress match to be, which is going to be on the kickoff show of Night 2 of SummerSlam. Grimes, he's continuing his training for the big mattress match. He's counting his money because he wants to get that refund. But he has to beat Jiro and I guess Wendy's shenanigans to do it. And then we see him leave. He gets into his Bentley or whatever car he's got. And he's on his way back to Big Mattress Inc. for the final showdown. We then see Pharaoh. He's running off with the 24/7 title again when Brandy, there he is. And she, squats down. And we see Pharaoh run into Brandy's arms. And she's like, Pharaoh, what is this? Takes the title out of his mouth. And Truth runs and catches up and he starts panicking. He's like, oh, finally, you unhand my baby. And Barrett's like, this? I mean, you can have it. I don't know why Pharaoh had it, you know? He thought it was a chew toy or something. You know, we do have a replica, like, plushy belt for him to chew at home. Maybe he thought it was one of those, but anyway, here you go. Just hands Truth the belt and walks off. And Truth's like, well, thanks, dog. And looks down at Pharaoh. It's like, dog. And walks off. And then, bang! The Nightmare Family locker room door opens in the background. And out steps Cody. Because it's main event time. WWE Championship on the line. King of the Ring winner Cody Rhodes not waiting until SummerSlam. 99 rated segment for the entrances. This segment is 14 minutes long. It's going to encompass a hype video, Roman's entrance, Cody's entrance, which alone takes up 10 minutes. Then you've got the introductions and all that shit. And here we are. The match didn't do good, which I get why, but I'm content with it. Because the finish really ruined the match, is what I'm going to say. So I didn't expect... I set this up as an epic because I wanted to see if they could have the psychology to get it done, because this is really just a trial run of the match. Like, this won't be the official Roman Reigns vs. Cody Rhodes match. As you can guess. But I'm actually now going to check why this got dinged. I guess they just don't have enough psychology to do an epic. Okay, good. There's a reason I put epic on this one and not on the... I can't say that. There's a reason I put an epic on the Raw match. Basically, is what I'm saying. Because it's a trial run because these two will wrestle later on down the line. Anyway, 21 minutes 44 seconds. The match is a long one. And, you know, we're really kicking things off. Cody and Roman from each other. Best they've got. And, you know, spear, kick out. Cody kicks out a spear. Crossroads, kick out. Everything you can think of. No bloodline, you know. They didn't come over to Raw because Roman's a SmackDown guy. And, well, yes, Cody goes for the Crossroads. Hits one. Goes for the second Crossroads. Goes to do the double Crossroads thing. Hits the second. And we see Roman sort of roll as he lands. 1, 2, Heyman puts the foot on the rope. And the crowd's like, oh fuck, we thought Cody had it. We thought Cody was going to achieve his destiny. And then Roman rolls to the outside. And Cody gets all fired up. He does a big dive to the outside. And he goes to toss Roman back into the ring. But Roman counters him. He does a big slap, big uppercut like Roman does. And he slams Cody on the announce table. Tosses Cody back into the ring. Referee's at a count of 7. And Roman, he starts talking to the crowd like, acknowledge me. Referee gets to a count of 8. When Roman stops, he looks around. He looks at Cody down in the ring. And he's like, Paul. Just gestures to Heyman. Heyman hands him the WWE title. And Roman Reigns just walks to the back. Well, he doesn't walk to the back. He begins to walk. But he gets like the bottom of the ramp as the referee counts 10 and Roman Reigns is counted out. Bad finish, you know, dinged the match big time because it got 76, you know. But again, it's fine. I didn't expect this to be, you know, the best match ever. This was really just a trial run. Because, you know, the whole MSG Raw thing, when people saw it in real life, I was like, yeah, they have to do this match here and do the count out spot. But also, Dusty got to hold the belt when he came to MSG, and Cody's not happy. He goes to chase Roman outside. He jumps him as he goes to leave up the ramp. Like, he's cockily walking away because he got the count-out win. Cody jumps him from behind and tosses him into the ring. Drops him with a Crossroads. And Cody gets to hold the belt up high. Cody in Madison Square Garden, just like his daddy, holds the WWE Championship up high. But he won by count-out, so he didn't get to win the belt. And that ends Raw in the world's most famous arena. For an 89, the show did good. Yeah, I'm not too stressed about the main event because, again, I didn't expect that to do well because it was an intentional count-out finish and the game hates those. But what matters more than what the game thought is what you thought of the show. So do let me know what you thought in the comments below, and I'll see you on the other side for Heat. I guess inside MSG. Heat kicks off with a big hype video, you know, recapping the events of MSG. Cody and Roman's match. I was going to say epic match, but I put the epic note in and the game disagreed. So that's that and the main event of WrestleMania. They were both shit when I put epic on, so I'm just never going to do it again. Okay, but it's a good job I tried it now and not later. And then Drew and Big E, Randy and Edge, that whole fiasco, and then Bianca and Asuka. Then a fairly simple episode of Heat begins with Tegan and Zoe Stark having a pretty good match, actually. Tegan wins 12 minutes. She's been losing a fair bit. She sort of floated since WrestleMania, since she lost the title, which is a bit of a shame, but I'll try and find something for her to do soon. Then get a 60, which I guess is also alright, considering Thea only got 22. But Candice LeRae and Thea Hale have a 9-minute 49 match. Candice, you know, does her job of, I'm good with a lot of psychology, let me teach this young child. 71 for Candice, 22 for Thea. Fuck me! 2 injuries in one. Mina twisted her disco knee. Anne-Marie slipped her disc. Both sound bad, like fucking shit injuries, but I know from bad experience that keeps both of them out of action. LOL. Great one, yeah. And the main event gets a 71. Nova beats Raquel with an area 451. 74 for Nova, 68 for Raquel, who's got some sort of injury that she's working through. That's her way out of looking weak, I guess. And then we end Heat for a 73. That's fine, but next week will be the go-home show of Raw and Heat. But as for SmackDown, the whole scenario with the WWE Championship is now up in the air. What will happen? Tune into the Blue Brand next time to find out.